G'day, Ben from Melbourne here. Today we're going to enter a competition for Americana Sam. That's right, everybody knows him, Sam St. John. He of the self-proclaimed biggest head in the VC. I don't mean he's overconfident in circumference. And that's, I don't think I'm talking out of school because he has described himself as having a rather large bonce himself. Anyway, I don't know any other saints except for Sam St. John. You know, besides when they tried to fuck me up in Catholic school when I was very young and put the fear of God literally into me, and I live with Catholic guilt to this day, no matter what I do. But he's a good saint. And if you don't happen to, by some miracle, don't know Americana Sam, I'll leave a link to his awesome channel below. As you can probably tell from the name of his channel, it's all things Americana influenced. He loves stuff with a bit of twang. He loves brothers who harmonize together. He likes his power pop, anything with a bit of a country lilt. And weirdly, somewhere in there, Oasis as well. He went and saw him. Watch his video. All right, let's get into the contest. It's celebrating 5 years for the great man. And of course, he's asked us 5 questions to be drawn on January the 5th. Should have done it on Christmas Day, so it'd be like December the 25th, 2025, so he could stick a few more 5s in there, but you know, he might have something to do that day. Anyway, I'll stop rhubarbing on and we'll get into the contest questions. So, the first question is, show an active artist who hasn't made a record in 5 or more years. Now I'm going to go with the mighty Eddie Current Suppression Ring, and they are active. Like, they come out of hibernation every now and then. They recently played a killer show at Federation Square and also at the Nightcat, and have released this 7-inch this year. So does that already mean I'm cancelled out of the competition? Anyway, this was their last full-length record, which come out in 2019. Cracking record, and like, talk about a band that takes their time these days. After their first 3 records came out, in quick succession, and the last being Rush to Relax, the gap between this one and this one was 2010 to 2019. So I would say, in a way, they are always active because they seem to, no matter what they do, always come back to Eddie Current. And that, of course, features the great Mikey Young on guitar and many production credits. Any record with his name on it is worth a look, in my opinion. Whether he plays in the band or it's him who's mastered it or produced it. Eddie Current, one of the best modern punk bands to come out of this here great city of Melbourne, located in Australia. And if you don't already know, these are all going to be Australian bands. All right, next question. Show a 5th album in a band's discography. Now, a band which releases a record every 5 minutes, I could have done this one and redone it as in show a band that released 5 albums in 1 year. And when I say that, you know exactly who I'm talking about. And that is the great Giz, King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard. This is their 5th record, I'm in Your Mind Fuzz. And the title says what is contained. Great. This is when they're probably still got a foot in the garage, as well as the psych sound. Killer record. Their early stuff, if you don't know it, is really worth checking out. It's a little bit more ragged around the edges, a little bit more garagey and psych, as I said. Unlike the sort of behemoth of a bazillion influences they've become. Still awesome, but there's something special about those first kind of like 5 to 7 albums. So yeah, The Giz, 5th record, I'm in Your Mind Fuzz. Question 3. Show the 5th record on your record shelf. Well, this was quite convenient for me because I've recently had a little reshuffle. And I put at the start of the collection all of my Australian and New Zealand stuff. Because obviously we do the best shit, so it's got to go first. So the 5th record was the classic surf rock album by the Atlantics, Bombora. What a killer record this one is. He's like the dad of the front man of the Straight Arrows, who, if you watch this channel, you know who they are. They're like garage rock kings from Sydney. This feat, it's the name of the album, but the great, probably most famous track is Bombora. Fantastic 60s surf stuff. They go on to released the great garage rock single Come On as well, which is a pube straightener if there ever was one. Yeah, question 3, done. Now, the next question, number 4, is I Can't Drive 55, an album you love to listen to in the car. Well, if you drove 55 on a freeway over here, you'd be going bloody slow, because we live in the present where we use the metric system. So we have kilometers, not miles, where things are like measured in horses' legs and shit like that. So let's just say I can't drive 105. I can't drive 105 anyway. I catch public transport to work. So in that way of thinking, I'm going to choose the Mighty B Suburban and their album, The Axeman's Jazz. What has this got to do with anything, you say? Well, I catch the train to work, and there is the great song, The Graveyard Train. Let's hope my train just goes to work and not to there. So that's my qualification for I Can't Drive 55. Those trains do hoot along, so I qualify. Okay, Sam? No disqualifications. These are legit perfect answers for these questions. Now, question 5 to wrap things up is show an album you paid $5 for or less. Now, that's virtually fucking impossible over here to get a decent record under $5 unless you want some beat up classical records or, some fucking other shit. Anyway, I'm gonna use a tape, and I think, like, as in a cassette, for my answer to this question. And this was under $5, and hopefully the length of time has been long enough that I don't get locked up, because this, my friends, was purchased with the 5-finger discount way back when I was a youth, and it was the very first AC/DC cassette. It was the one I was missing, but I had my $20 from my paper round. I was after school on my way. I think tapes were what, $10, $8? I can't remember back then. I was on my way to the record store after school, and I get there and I reach into my pocket. It's gone. My $20 is gone. Who knows where it is? Some little fucker probably got it and spent it on soft drink and pies. But anyway, I had to have this tape because if it was the one that completed all of the Bon Scott catalog, which I needed this one, even though it's got the weird song called Love Song on there, but it's got Baby Please Don't Go, which is a killer cover, and I think, She's Got Balls. There's some fucking good stuff on this all the same, but you can tell it's like finding their way. So sorry, we were talking about Catholic guilt before. Obviously, I still carry it. For the 5-finger discount for AC/DC's High Voltage. Now, that's 5 questions. If you haven't had a go, it's a pretty easy competition to do. Support the great Americana Sam. We love Sam St. John. Also, a while back in my interviewing the VC videos, check that one out. I had a great time with Sam, which was really good fun. Good fella, good sense of humour, and the only saint I know. See you in the next one.